In this video, I'm going to discuss this question, the so-called ribbons question, which is similar to a past PSLE math question. Now, if you search through the internet and YouTube about this question, you will know that there is a wrong method in answering this, and the wrong method will give you the wrong answer. But is that always the case? Does the wrong method always give you the wrong answer? Okay, in this video, we are going to explore this further. Stay tuned. Let's read the question together. Ray wants to make 230 ribbons of length 120 centimeter for a party to celebrate the end of the lockdown. So 230 ribbons, each one 120 centimeter. The ribbons were sold at 25 meters per tape. Question A, how many tapes will Ray need? And B, what is the total length of ribbon left over? I think this part B was not in the original PSLE question. Right? I have just added it on my own. Right? Okay, so what do we need to do? The first thing that we need to do is to go and find out for each tape how many ribbons we can get. So to do that, we're going to take 25 meters, change that into centimeter by multiplying by 100, and then divide that by the length of each ribbon, which is 120. Okay, I believe that will give you 20.833 and so on. So what does this mean? This means we can only get a maximum of 20 ribbons per tape. Right? So this 0.8333 is regarded as wastage. We cannot use it because the length will be less than 120 centimeters, which we require to make one ribbon. So what is the next step? The next step, we're going to take the 230 ribbons that we require and then divide by 20. Right? This will give us the number of tapes that will be required to produce our 230 ribbons. So if you were to take your calculator, I believe you're going to get 11.5. Right? So this is tapes. So what does this mean? This means we're going to require 12 tapes. 11 will not be enough. Right? So that's the answer for part A using the so-called correct method. Now let's do let's find the answer to this question using the wrong method. So the wrong method is going to take 230 ribbons that we want and then multiply that by 120, the length of each ribbon, and then divide that by 25 meters, the length for each tape, and then multiply that by 100 to convert it into centimeters. So if you were to take your calculator, I believe you're going to get 11.04 tapes. So what does this mean? This means we're going to require 12 tapes. Right? Which is the same answer as we get when we are using the correct method. But do you notice something? You notice that the numbers before the rounding off. Right? The correct method gives you 11.5, while the wrong method gives you 11.04, which is smaller. Right? It is always bigger for this one because of this wastage. Right? So it is a logical answer actually. Right? So now let's tackle part B. What is the total length of ribbon left over? So how do we do that? Now that we know we require 12 tapes, we can multiply that by 25. Right? So that will be the amount of tape that we have. And what is the amount that we're going to use? 230 ribbons. Multiply that by 120. But we divide that by 100 because the units for this one, 25, is meters. So if you were to take your calculator, I believe you get a very nice round number, 24 meters. Okay, so this is the problem that we have just discussed and worked out. Right, you can see that For both the correct and the wrong method, we get the same answer of 12 tapes, right? So this is another example, different numbers, and in this case, the correct method gives us 8 tapes, while the wrong method 7 tapes. What do you notice? You notice that before the rounding off number, for the correct method, you get 7, more than 7, so that's why you have to round it up to 8, but for the wrong method, you get less than 7. Right? As a result, when you round it up, you only get 7 instead of 8. Okay? So it all depends on the numbers that are being used in this problem. And the last case is this. Right? You find that when you do the first part, you get the whole number, exactly 30. That means you get exactly 30 ribbons per tape. There is no wastage here. When there is no wastage, you will find that for both methods, you're going to get exactly the same answer. Right? So it happens here that you get 8. So there is the rounding up is also 8, and then for the wrong method, you also get the same numerical 8. Teachers who are listening, I think this particular problem may be a good exercise for your students. You can divide them into 3 groups and each one do one of these scenarios. And after they have completed their work, ask them, make them discuss and see whether they can actually reason out why we get three different scenarios, right? And for those students who are listening, I suggest you go to the link that is given in the description below, try out a few problems, and to see whether you can really understand exactly what you are doing. Okay? So thank you for listening. Have fun.